ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಲೋಪಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೊರೋನಾ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಂಟಾದಂತಹ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮಣಿಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವೈರಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರಂತಹ ಎಂ ಕೆ ವೇಣು ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸೋಣ. ಸರ್, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Sir, what's your opinion about Manipur incident? Because a lot of time we are saying Indian media is not take care of the situations because they are not reporting to the public.
Yes.
Is that right way? We are in the right situation in our country?
Actually, the problem with the Manipur is, as far as media is concerned,
Okay.
After violence started, the government shut down the internet on the pretext that they wanted to control the violence. The government's logic was, argument was that because of social media and use of internet, violence would spread further. So they used that as a reason to shut down internet. And in those 60-70 days, so much violence happened that there was no reporting from Manipur. Nothing came out. And it's only when the videos of those two women who were paraded naked, who were later supposed to have been, horrific videos about women being paraded naked and women being gang raped, and that came out, that both the state government and central government got exposed, because the central government was controlling the law and order situation through the chief minister, and the chief minister was not answering any questions. Actually, Prime Minister is silent because Prime Minister has the habit, he has a record of not saying anything when there is something very adverse that happens which could affect his image. Never says anything. If you remember, even before that, few months ago, when those three women wrestlers were sitting in protest against sexual harassment by a important BJP MP, who's the president of the Wrestling Federation.
Brijbhushan Singh.
PM didn't say anything. Anything where BJP is on the back foot and BJP has to answer many questions, PM keeps quiet. And that has been his... that has been a style, and he thinks that somehow by keeping quiet he can recover his personal image. On Manipur, he's asked Amit Shah to answer questions in parliament, and he has not even the one demand across the board in Manipur is Biren Singh should be sacked. He's not done that.
Last week, Mr. Home Minister Amit Shah said, this is a law and order issue. Prime Minister won't answer this question. So we are answering, we are ready to debating. Why are you escaping? He is asking the question against opposition.
This is not a law and order issue. This is the most serious mass tragedy that has occurred in the last 10 years during Mr. Modi's tenure. Even otherwise, in Northeast, such mass violence and destruction has not happened in the last 15 years. In fact, I spoke to a bureaucrat who's from the Manipur cadre, who's retired now. He said that at least for 15 years there was relative peace in Manipur. It's all gone back. The clock has gone back to that period, and now there is fear that this is spreading to Mizoram and the various tribes which are sympathetic to cookies from Mizoram, for instance. There's a big protest against the Meiteis of Manipur, the majority tribe of Manipur, and people say that this could spill over to the Naga tribes also. It could spill over to Assam also. So there is a big danger that the entire Northeast could get engulfed. So this cannot be called a law and order situation. This is a very serious political turmoil. It's a civil war. A civil war where the state administration, police have lost all control, and people are just stealing arms from the armory, police armory, and killing each other, cannot be called a law and order situation. No? It's a perfect situation for governor's rule, which of course for some reason BJP is fully backing Biren Singh. Now we don't know why Biren Singh is so important for this government, just as Brij Singh was so important that he could not be sacked, so for a long time, right? So there is there are a lot of questions about the way this government is dealing with these situations. So there is one. BJP seems to, even Prime Minister Modi seems to think that he's personally so popular that it won't affect him, but that is not the case. It is slowly, it's affecting his image, definitely. Yeah.
Then Prime Minister never answered any controversial issues.
He never answers questions. He doesn't come to Parliament to reply, to give a statement on Manipur. He makes a statement outside Parliament. And this is also unprecedented, And the BJP spokespersons on TV say, what is the difference? It's just a technical issue whether he speaks inside Parliament or outside Parliament. Imagine they're comparing a statement outside Parliament and inside Parliament. And now there is somebody has compiled statistics to show that this PM has his attendance in Parliament has been the least among Prime Ministers of the last 30 years. His participation in debates is the least. His attendance is the least. He's actually making statements on critical issues is also the least among all prime ministers.
So, and another biggest failure of Modi government, Corona situation.
Yeah.
Do you think Modi failed handling the Corona situation, COVID situations?
Well, see, if you look at all the sequence of events, the first 6-7 months, the government had very little idea about the vaccine production. It kept giving deadlines that vaccine will be ready by this time. It was not ready, whether it was Bharat Biotech or Covishield. Supplies were not ready. And one big failure, of course, was the manner in which he imposed the lockdown. India was, it is recorded now among the harshest lockdowns in the world. Because of that, there was a lot of loss of economic output value, and then there was this hope that India will roll out vaccines very fast. That rollout also was very slow. In fact, the real targets started being met only much later during the year 2020 and 2021, and compared to India, many other countries like China and others were, in terms of coverage of population, the dosages were much quicker in those countries, being delivered to people, and overall, especially in terms of supply, hospital supply, doctors in hospitals, it was very poor, and it was very visible the way dead bodies were seen, along the Ganges, the way people
in some hospital they don't have the even COVID kit. They are wearing
our healthcare system got exposed, particularly in North India, really got exposed. South India was also affected, but South India, I think, did better because of better healthcare infrastructure. North had very, very poor healthcare infrastructure. In fact, if you see the data during the COVID period, the big flagship scheme of Prime Minister's healthcare scheme named after the Prime Minister, the Ayushman scheme, where you get, free treatment,
Free treatment,
insurance based.
More programs.
Yeah, data shows that in UP, Bihar, and in northern states, it was abysmally low. Very few people could actually avail of that because there was no supply. The district hospitals were not working at the rural level. At least in Tamil Nadu and say in Kerala and maybe in Karnataka, the district hospital infrastructure were much better. Supply of doctors, nurses. North India was very poor, and that's where the maximum deaths also happened.
So I remember one thing, Mr. Modi said we are giving the huge package, 20 lakh crore package we are giving to the people.
Yeah.
Do you think they gave the 20 lakh crore package because that is the similar to nearby Indian budget, Indian annual?
No, actually, the 20 lakh crore was, it seemed like a big package, but actually it included the RBI's interest-free loans that RBI was giving. Those loans were mostly being taken by big corporates, right? Big companies. So I think a good part of that, so I think 7 lakh crore or 8 lakh crore was actually the bank loans. Bank loans cannot be called a package. You have to return the money, right?
Yeah.
So there was a big loan package for small industries. Many small industries did not take the loan because their businesses were shut, and they said we can't return this money. If we take the loan and there is no production, how can we return it later? So there was a bit of an exaggeration in that 20 lakh crore. And as far as government spending was concerned, India was not among the high spending countries. The other countries were spending much more than India in terms of direct government spending and giving money in the hands of the people. That was much more in other countries, relative to India.
Sir, and after the corona, our education system changed, collapsed because of a lot of parents converted to the digital education and they are going to the moving to the other hybrid education. What do you think about that?
It is now universally recognized that that at least students lost about 2 years of their studies. It's actually research shows that their learning they are behind at least by 2 years, and it is a big crisis because now they'll have to catch up. So this whole digital Zoom education via Zoom, where the teacher could not really pay attention to students. It has affected students a lot, especially in government schools. It has affected them even more, because in private schools, the more well-off, richer kids, they find other ways of catching up, private tuitions or later, special tuitions. Yeah, but by and large, in the government schools, public schools, the learning has really, there's a big gap in the learning. Now, how will this gap be? How will they recover this gap? Is a big question. So let's wait and see how things pan out.
Because it is a hardly hit to the education industry. Why I'm mentioning this is an education industry, because a lot of our ministers or somebody have their own education institutions. But you're saying that government students always have the problems, they get proper education or a lot of problems. But how they are facing this corona situation, after corona situation, what kind of precaution Modi government have to take in that situation?
I don't know. I don't know whether Modi government has taken any special measure.
Because why I ask this question, because our education, because our medical system has collapsed, and education system also. So here we see the huge failure of this government. So that's why I'm taking that Modi government.
See, here state governments also have to contribute their bit to creating to to let students recover, their loss of learning. So you can't blame the center alone. So Modi government, of course, had no policy in place on how to deal with this situation. But education, all said and done, states also, when you speak of engineering colleges at the state level, whether it is Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, so the states also have some responsibility. So there should have been some kind of joint coordinated effort. But Modi government has not done anything to bring the states on the same page, to put in a joint effort to deal with education or health, because this government has had adversarial relations with all most state governments which are in the opposition, especially southern state governments. South India has, in my view, would have suffered more, because South India already in education and healthcare, they are far ahead of the north, So because they're far ahead of the north, so their crisis would be, they would, in some sense, they would have, they have to work much harder to sustain their superior performance.
Okay.
UP, Bihar are already very bad, So you can't, from bad, you can't go much worse,
Yeah.
So therefore, I think the southern states will have to do much more, actually, to recover from the loss of learning that has happened,
Sir, totally. Finally, what do you think about Indian governance situations or Indian political situations?
See, currently the Indian political situation after the Karnataka elections, there is a feeling, a kind of new spirit, which a new kind of what should I say? Opposition feels very encouraged, and a new this thing has come into the opposition. Energy has come into the opposition camp, which has shown in the form of this India, this alliance that has formed. This alliance, in my view, it's Karnataka win which has created this larger.
Do you think that the India alliance is too strong?
It need not be strong. All I'm saying is that they all, in the past, they could not come together against Modi, but now there is a realization that even Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, which earlier never saw eye to eye, now they are sitting together and talking, right?
Yes.
And this common platform against Modi government, against failure of Modi government on the economic front, inflation, I think somewhere it is hitting.
Yeah.
Like in Karnataka, many people say it was a gas cylinder election. There will be many gas cylinder elections, going forward. And you'll see in Madhya Pradesh and other places also. People are reeling from price rise, energy prices, gas prices, Now it's edible oil prices, vegetable prices, tomatoes, onions. Now onion prices are going up. So price rise is hitting home very hard. And the other issue which has brought the opposition together is the way this government has used ED, CBI and income tax. Blatantly, brutally, without any shame they have used, And the way they sought, against the Supreme Court order, sought further extension of the enforcement directorate head. People are now seeing this. Many people see that this Modi government wants to, they feel that Indian democracy is being harmed in the way the Modi government is treating the opposition, and the way the Modi government is using enforcement agencies to destroy the opposition. I think this realization has gone down among the people. I have no doubt in my mind about this.
Okay, sir. Thank you for joining with us.
ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಧ್ವನಿ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.